Hi, and Happy New Year. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I did. I have a new camera. I have a new toy that I'm going to go ahead and show you. Grandpa got a 3D printer. He's figuring out how to use that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start off the new year with our traditional Mexican dishes. I usually make menudo every New Year's. So I'm still going to be doing that. I'll make that into a short. We're going to do Birria Tacos. It's mainly a goat stew. You can do this with beef, chicken, pork, whatever you can get a hold of. Here in Texas, we do have access to goat, so I'm going to go ahead and do this the traditional way with goat. So let's get started. Okay, so what you want to do, because we're going to do a lot of this in my new Instapot. You're going to go ahead and put in about 8 cups of water into a pot, and we're going to boil the meat a little bit. We're not going to do a full cook on that. The reason why we're doing this is because we want to go ahead and skim off some of the stuff off of the goat. Because this has bones in it, it's going to froth up, and we don't want that froth in the stew. Another thing you're going to go ahead and add to the water while the meat is, frothing up, so you can skim it off, is you're going to want some chilies. The dried chilies that you get from the store. You're going to basically use about 6 of these. It's about 1 chili per pound. So we're going to be using this entire bag. And if you want it a little bit hotter, if you like spice, go ahead and get some of the hotter chilies and add as many as you want in there, because you are going to need to use chili powder along with the chili pods. Now these are not that spicy. It's mainly for flavor. Okay, this is where the spice comes in. And here we have goat meat. Okay, I've got about 4 packets of these. We're going to do the entire packet. I've gone ahead and thawed these out, and this is what we're going to go ahead and use. Now, typically you're going to go ahead and use a garlic bulb, because the garlic and the onion are going to be mainly for flavor. You can leave this in, because we're going to go ahead and skin this and cut it up. It's going to dissolve into the stew. You're going to have some chunks that you can go ahead and eat. You can remove the onion and garlic and just have the marinated meat. For spices, you have bay leaves, oregano, ground cumin. We have our salt, and then we have chicken bouillon. Some countries call it chicken salt. I like chicken salt better than bouillon because it's easier to say. In the hot water, we're going to go ahead and put in the meat. One thing about this too is that you can go ahead and can this and save it for future tacos. here we're going to go ahead and add some chilies because we do need to soften these up, because we're going to go ahead and make a sauce out of these. Okay, so see all this foam, this stuff? That's what you want to remove from the meat, because you don't want this in your stew. But in the meantime, these are about soft enough. Make sure that they're soft enough to where they're nice and pliable. You want to try to pull these down a little bit and remove the seeds and stems. Okay, we're going to rinse this off, and then we're going to skim the foam off of this. Now we're going to go ahead and blend these in a blender using some of the broth, the meat broth that's in here. All right, so let's go ahead and take these stems off. We've already got the meat in the Instant Pot. We have the broth here. We're taking off all the stems. We're going to go ahead and place it in the blender. If you want to de-seed, you can. I like a little bit of heat on this. Not that much heat. And out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add the broth just to get it to blend. Nothing too fancy. And while you're waiting for the meat to boil, I'm going to show you how big your onions should be. About that much. About this big. That way you still have onion, but it's not fully deteriorated, but you still have the onion in the soup. Okay, see how thick that is? That's what you want. We're making chili paste. Okay, along with the onions and the garlic, we're going to add the broth back into the pot. Okay, now that we have all the meat boiled and put in the Instant Pot, we're going to add the rest of the ingredients, which includes the sauce that you made with the chilies, strain. You can add a little bit of water, swish around. Try to get all that goodness in there. Okay, garlic. It says 1 head of garlic. 2 tablespoons. We already have the onion in here. Now it's going to ask for 5 bay leaves. About 5. If you've got small ones, use 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 more. Okay, 1 teaspoon of oregano. It asks for Mexican oregano. I don't know if there's a difference, but I don't have access to that. One teaspoon of ground cumin. This is a new jar, so give me a minute. Okay, 1 teaspoon of salt. We're going to use some of our smoked salt. I'm guessing you can add more if you after you cook it. Okay, and 3 tablespoons of the chicken bouillon. Okay, you want to go ahead and stir this up a little bit because you have all this water in here. You kind of want to mix everything up a little bit before you turn this on, or else it's going to cook in layers and you're going to have the spices on top. This is already smelling good. All right, so let's go ahead and put the lid on. We're going to pressure cook this for 90 minutes. This has a meat setting on it, so we're going ahead and utilize that. All right, now that the meat is done, let's go ahead and take a look. Put this all the way over here. Let's move these out of the way because we're going to go ahead and make tacos. Look at all that. It's just falling right off the bone. See? All this meat. Ooh, that's hot. See how it's just falling apart? Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the meat out, but we're going to reserve the liquid. The liquid you can use as a dip for the tacos. I'm just going to go ahead and do a little bit right now. We're going to go ahead and reserve as much of this liquid as possible because this is gold. We're going to go ahead and take out all the bones. Separate the meat. Scrunch it up a little bit. Now remember, goat has its own unique flavor. You cannot really compare it with beef or chicken or pork. It is definitely different. That's the only thing that I can tell you. It is gamey. Okay, and it looks like beef, but it doesn't taste like beef. So here we have some meat separated out. Okay, and I have some cactus here that we're going to add. Some of the white crumbly Mexican cheese. And I'm making a mess again. Okay, there's a lot of places that if you buy these, they actually fry the taco to where it's nice and thin. You can do that. Not a problem. But you're going to want to have a bowl of the drippings to be able to dunk this. And it's falling apart. Which is perfectly fine. It still eats like a taco. Pro tip, if you don't want this to fall apart like this, warm up your tortillas. I didn't have time for that today. But be careful. This stuff does stain your fingers. Now, I don't know how forgiving this camera is going to be for me eating, but please bear with me. This is a learning experience. Now, this is completely taken apart. So we're going to go ahead and make a mini taco. There we go. You really want to try this. If you can get it in goat, get it in goat. It's a different experience altogether. If you can't, beef works fine. This you want to try. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Okay, and we will see you next time.